up, my nigga, let's link up.
Ladies and gentlemen, welcome to another episode of The Link Up. It is, the one and only, the host of The Link Up, Ron the Don. And as always on the Weekend Wrestling, I'm joined by my co-host, Mr. Allin, Xander, ladies and gentlemen.
Yes, sir. This podcast is the place to be, y'all. So if you ain't know, now you know. This right here,
Right.
you are witnessing history in the making, ladies and gentlemen. So I'm gonna say.
Definitely. In the short amount of time that we've been doing this, definitely done gotten some good feedback. People been tuning in with us, every week. So just thank you to you guys. If you're not already, like, share, comment, and subscribe. Follow us on all podcast platforms. And, it's much appreciated. But we definitely gonna get it going. Starting off with SmackDown. The show opened with the new Mrs. Money in the Bank. Yes, ladies and gentlemen, it was indeed Tiffy time. Tiffy time. She started off the show basically saying that she's up next and she's up now. She was then interrupted by the WWE Women's Champion, Bayley, who said something that me personally, I didn't even know. Tiffany Stratton is not only the youngest Mrs. Money in the Bank, but also every woman that has won the Money in the Bank contract has successfully cashed it in. So this kind of planted the seeds that could Tiffany be the first one to unsuccessfully cash in? In the Paul Levesque era, it could be that way. And then after this, since Bayley was in the ring, Tiffany Stratton was in the ring, Tiffany's new best friend Nia Jax made her way down to the ring, confronted Bayley. We're getting hyped up for Summerslam. She even threw in, some BBL Bayley comments. Shout out Nia Jax. And then, of course, it was a 2-on-1 affair. And then Michin came out, made the save, and then we got a matchup between Nia Jax and Michin, in which Nia Jax took the victory in that one. What are your thoughts on the women's division on the SmackDown side right now?
That's pretty solid, but one thing I want to say in regards to Tiffany Stratton and her Money in the Bank contract run. Tiffany Stratton, I know you're probably not going to hear me say this, but I'm going to need you to keep your nose clean, all right? Because one bad repost or one bad tweet, you can and most likely will get the Baron Corbin treatment, where he says something online, got some heat, he had to drop the contract the same week. Just be careful, because I want to see Tiffany Stratton win. I do believe, it's Tiffy time. So you know what I'm saying? Let's just try to keep that. Let's try to keep that afloat. You know what I mean? Don't do nothing like don't self-sabotage it. You know what I mean? That's all I'm saying. So you're already
Speaking
walking
of
on thin ice.
Definitely. Speaking of potential sabotage, though, after Nia Jax won the match, they attacked Michin. Bayley got involved. They left her laying. And Tiffany Stratton actually teased, potentially cashing in which Nia Jax was not having it. She stopped her from cashing in. This kind of goes back to my theory where I basically said Tiffany Stratton is the new Alexa Bliss. She's going to utilize Nia Jax to beat the champion down, then cash in at the most opportune time. Triple H is death. Yeah, I was going to say that. And then Bayley actually alluded to it earlier in her promo. So that's something to, keep our eye on. For me personally, as a side note, I hope not. I want to see Nia actually have a reign. We had earlier discussions on previous pods about her potentially being comeback player of the year. So, definitely want to see her have her shine. But after this, we got an ominous promo from Solo and the Bloodline. Basically Solo, making it known that the Bloodline is coming for all the titles, including Cody Rhodes' WWE Championship, which we'll get to more of that later. After this, we got another promo in which Byron Saxton sat down with Andrade, who really made a name for himself in the Money in the Bank men's ladder match. And he was then interrupted by Carmelo Hayes. So what's next for Andrade? Him, Carmelo Hayes. Are you excited about a potential matchup between these two, which is actually set to happen this Friday on SmackDown?
Now, see, with the right build-up, You could have had this match at SummerSlam, but I ain't mad at it. We get a banger of a match on free TV. You know I'm all for it. So I ain't really tripping about it. But that just kind of leaves me with another question. Like as far as SummerSlam like plans, what's next for Carmelo Hayes? Because I
Uh,
mean, if anybody deserves to be on that card, I would say Carmelo Hayes, he does deserve to be on that card in my opinion.
I definitely agree with you there. Right now, it's not looking, too good for him because he doesn't really have a program set up
Yeah, no
unless he's,
program, no rivalry, so it's gonna be
yeah.
it's kind of in a tough spot right now. But hey, you never know. Triple H, you never know with him, man. Like he could pull something out of nowhere, and next thing you know, they on SummerSlam. So
And speaking of never know, we got the most random tag team between Baron Corbin and Apollo Crews, who actually lost against Legado del Fantasma's Angel and Berto due to interference by Santos Escobar and Elektra Lopez. So, those two are yet again taking one in the L column. After this, we see Randy Orton and Cody Rhodes backstage. Randy Orton giving Cody reassurance that after the bloodline is dealt with, a lot of people is going to be coming for Cody's title, and Randy Orton is going to have his back. Randy Orton is going to have Cody Rhodes back. He's always going to have Cody Rhodes back. Are you believing what Randy Orton is selling? Are you buying what Randy Orton is selling?
come on, man, this is a snake. No, I'm not buying it. I mean, that's just what he's good at. It's the truth. Like he's good at stabbing people in the back. Like at the end of the day, you really cannot trust him. But one thing that I would like to see though, they throw a curveball. I've been hearing some stuff about them maybe throwing a curveball and having Cody Rhodes strike first before Randy Orton. You know what I mean? And that could be a good scenario. You know what I mean? I wouldn't be mad at that one.
Cody Rhodes is definitely getting painted as a villain around here, so it could very well happen.
They trying to, but they can't fully go. They can't go all in on it yet. Pun intended.
Right. That was a good one. I like that. But LA Knight made his way down to the ring. He had a contract in hand. He basically let us know that at SummerSlam, Nick Aldis is signed off on it. LA Knight is signed off on it. He can potentially challenge for the U.S. Championship only if Logan Paul signs off on that contract. And Logan Paul is set to appear on the next episode of SmackDown. So hopefully we'll get answers there. After this, Naomi defeated Blair Davenport, which really was a surprise for me. Blair Davenport's first one-on-one match on the main roster, and she takes an L here. After that, she was backstage with Naomi, pretending to shake her hand, then attacked her from behind. So it seems like this rivalry isn't over yet. Um, Then, after this, we got a rematch for the Tag Team Championships. Champions DIY successfully retained their titles against A-Town Down Unders, Grayson Waller and Austin Theory. After there was some miscommunication, Grayson Waller took out Austin Theory with a knee. DIY took out Grayson Waller with the meat in the middle, and they retained their titles. And then after the match, we saw Austin Theory and Grayson Waller kind of getting into it, which it really didn't get to last long because who came out? The new man in town, Jacob Fatu, destroyed everybody, took out Austin Theory, laid out DIY all by himself, really, put a display on of all that he's about. You know, moonsaults for a big man, doing everything. What were your thoughts on Jacob Fatu?
And ladies and gentlemen, we have another guest.
How you doing?
Good, good. Welcome to the pod, brother.
Hey, it's good to be on here.
That's what's up. Well, as of right now, we are going over. So, what was the question again? You can lay it on me again.
Oh, Jacob Fatu came to the ring, destroyed DIY. He looking like, that they building him up to be that guy. He laid out the tag team champs all by his lonesome, and he's getting that spotlight right now. What are your thoughts on WWE showcasing his talent like that.
Man, it's honestly, man, it's what I expected. You know what I mean? Like, this dude, since I've been tapped in with him since, Major League Wrestling when he was out there and then with reality of wrestling. So I already expected that to be a thing. So not a matter of if, but it's a matter of when they really gonna make him show out. But see, I got some theories about Jacob Fatu though, but we're gonna get into that later though. But let's hear what Brian Woods got to say.
I like the fact that he's being presented so strong. I don't like the fact that he just squashed DIY like that. Because it made them seem like really weak, and they're already like smaller guys anyway. So him coming in and them not putting up much of a fight at all makes him look very good, but also makes them look kind of like,
Hopefully
great.
they get their get back. Hopefully they get their get back. I can see
Planting
them
seeds,
going
maybe
against
planting seeds for Summerslam or something. You never
Yeah,
know.
for something. Yeah.
definitely. And then after this, Solo came out to the ring. The Bloodline kind of took control of the ring, and Solo made it known that he wants to challenge for that WWE Championship at SummerSlam. And then out came Cody Rhodes. He obliged. He says he wants the same thing, and it's up to Nick Aldis to make it official. After this, the Bloodline wasted no time, asserting their dominance. 4-on-1 attack Cody Rhodes. Out came Randy Orton, who earlier in the night said he always has Cody's back. And they beat down Randy Orton too. Hung Cody Rhodes on the ropes, made him watch the beatdown of Randy Orton. And now Cody is out of our allies. KO's out. Family Matters, Randy Orton possibly on the shelf. And then now, who's standing tall at the end? The new tribal chief, quote unquote, and the rest of the bloodline.
Man.
But what were you guys' thoughts on SmackDown as a whole?
You first.
I liked it a lot. I thought it did everything that it was supposed to do. It made the Bloodline look amazing. I can't believe Solo, man. I can't. I think it's the gloves, and it's just that the suit's too big. The gloves just don't look right. His
Temu
hair.
Weekend.
So I'm saying, and like Fatu is such a better wrestler than he is, or at least he's more exciting than Solo is. And seeing, I don't know.
Jacob is definitely giving me Umaga vibes right now.
Yeah.
Oh,
But overall, for me, I mean, SmackDown was pretty solid. Like you said, it did everything it was supposed to do. It set rivalries going into the big event. It planted seeds. So, I mean, hey, overall, it was a good show. Can't complain.
Before we go any further, let's give a proper introduction. I'll hand it over to Xander, and we can welcome him in to the Link Up family for sure.
Ladies and gentlemen, who we have here, one of our guest appearance in the Link Up. We got none other than my boy, Bryan Woods.
thank you. It's very, very nice to be here. Very, very nice.
Mr. Pardon Me himself.
Pardon me. The intellectual.
But yes, if y'all don't know, he's trained to be a wrestler too. So you know what I mean? He out there, getting it in just like me. He out there getting it out the mud right now. So
That's what's up. Now we got two professional perspectives on the show.
I try.
We happy to have you on the show, man. Appreciate you for showing up, man. Appreciate it, no doubt.
Man, it's good to be here.
We're gonna move on to Monday Night Raw, which started off hot. Mommy is back. She made her way down to the ring. She's looking for Liv Morgan, but she didn't get Liv Morgan. Instead, she got Sad Boy Dominic Mysterio with the Black Rose, coming down to the ring, trying to beg for forgiveness. And right when he was about to apologize, here is Liv Morgan with half her voice left. Mentioned that she's a screamer. And now it's looking like we're gonna get Rhea versus Liv Morgan at SummerSlam. Uh, are you guys excited for this matchup? Because I know I am. I'm looking forward to it. What are your thoughts on this? We'll start with you, Bryan.
It's for the custody of Dominic. I'm saying it right now. I need that to be a stipulation. I need it to be added somehow, but I want it to be for the custody of Dominic. It's like a good callback to Ray and Eddie. I think was that match at SummerSlam.
Mm-hmm.
Yep.
I don't see why not. Then it's a perfect reason not to. But I'm really excited for it. I'm mainly excited to see Rhea back, and Liv hasn't improved in the ring so much since like her NXT days that I love to see Liv as champion or Liv doing anything of substance on Raw.
Definitely. What about you, Xander?
See, look, he hit the nail in the coffin right there with that custody of Dominic match. Because at the end of the day, it is going full circle if you think about it, because it's going to be at SummerSlam, and Dominic is technically on the line right now. But I got some theories about that too. But we're not going to get into those until a little bit later. But you already know, how I feel about it. But overall, I think that's going to be a really, really, really good match. Honestly, that match might have the potential to be match of the night.
Yeah,
Oh yeah.
I can see that. After this, we got Sheamus going against Bronson Reed. Sheamus actually picked up the victory here, but it was what happened after the match. Bronson Reed looked like he was going to take out Sheamus while his back was turned, but Pete Dunne came in, saved Sheamus from the attack, but then attacked Sheamus from behind as well. So now we got a Pete Dunne heel turn. I was not expecting this. This this is quite the shocker for me. Um, After this, we got a returning to the ring, Sonya Deville. She defeated Zelina Vega, and then their group still don't got a name yet. I've been hearing potential names around. Uh, they attacked Vega, but then Vega was saved by Lyra Valkyria, Katana Chance, and Kaden Carter, in which they had a matchup later on that night. And then after this, backstage, Dom was still sad, still trying to, regain Rhea's love and trust. And who interrupted? The Yeet Man himself, Jay Uso. And he won a piece of Rhea right now. What are your thoughts on Monday Night Raw thus far?
I really like the fact that they're putting Zoe Stark and Shayna with Sonya because Sonya's really good on the mic and she can talk really well. And Zoe can wrestle, but Zoe can't talk worth the bleep. And Shayna can talk, but she hasn't really hit her stride yet since she left NXT.
Yeah.
And the Bronson Reed Sheamus match, that was a really big, meaty men slapping meat. That was a hard hitting
Big
match.
E.
Oh yeah. The finish was kind of weird though, because Sheamus beat him with like a knee, and I don't know. But overall, to this point, I was very, very satisfied.
How my boy Sheamus got death rebelled, man.
Oh my
I forgot to mention that.
my god.
I am hoping. Okay, because look, Sheamus had put a poll out on X saying what, like how they like the song. 89% of the people said no, they do not like that song. So maybe Triple H listens to the people and gives them back his theme song. Maybe it's a one-off. Who knows? Me personally, I hope it's a one-off. But back to the Liv Morgan and Rhea Ripley situation. That boy Jey Uso, how you said it? I'm trying to holla. That boy there, I'm telling you. They need to do, I'm telling you, man, this is why I said, I'm a forever, be salty until they actually pull the damn trigger. I'm a forever be salty about Jey Uso's situation right now. Cause he's in a hard place right now as far as booking, if you think about it. You know what I mean? But the show overall so far right now is good. It's solid.
Mm-hmm. Well, since you said the whole Jey Uso thing, I want to kind of get into that a little bit. This past week, Rikishi, was doing this thing on the podcast, and he was kind of expressing that he was disappointed in WWE. He felt like Jey Uso should have been the guy to win the Money in the Bank contract, and he said he's not one to complain much. He loves everything that his family is doing, but he was just, he felt like, how many times does Jey Uso got to be passed over, when it comes to getting these big opportunities? And so, to you, Xander, to you, Bryan, do you agree with Rikishi's comments? How do you feel? Do you feel like Jey Uso is, being looked over too much? He's not getting the right opportunities. What are your thoughts, Bryan?
It's like the same thing that's happening like LA Knight right now. Because he's so over with the crowd. He doesn't have a title. But LA Knight's better because he's in some feud with a title. But Jey Uso feels like he's like just floating around somewhere. He lost to Gunther. He lost to Sammy. He lost to Seth. Didn't he lose to Damien too? Or did he go against? I don't think he
Yeah.
went against Damien. He lost to
Backlash.
Damien.
He lost
Good
to
God.
Damien.
But and his name is Main Event Jey Uso, and he's not winning main event matches. So it doesn't make it feels so ambiguous. And then I don't know. I don't like it. Because I think that he should at least have the IC title, but you have the thing going on with Sammy and Braun Breaker and Ilya. Oh my God. Don't get me started about Ilya. But you got this whole thing going on with these three, and it's like Jey Uso feels like he needs to fit in somewhere besides like a comedy act.
Definitely. And I know you have quite the emotions on this, Mr. Xander, as we talked about off the pod. What are your thoughts on Jey Uso? Is he being overlooked?
Hell yes, and I'm gonna explain why. So I kind of wished that I wasn't right about that whole theory about the Money in the Bank. Like, yeah, I mean, unfortunately, I was right. But the whole thing about it is like, I kind of didn't want that Money in the Bank contract to be used as a stepping stone for to elevate a story that's already happening. You know what I mean? Like, because honestly, looking back on it now, they really could have, used that contract for Jey Uso, to elevate what he got going on right now, and have CM Punk cost him the ladder match. And it would have had just as big of effect. You could have had the same story. You could have had him at the end, going to the press conference, being upset, being mad about his Money in the Bank contract opportunity getting squandered. Whereas someone like Jey Uso has the contract, he can cash it in once things start fading down. Like, he ain't got to cash it in immediately, but have him cash it in as stuff fades down, and then you got a world champ. You know what I mean? So it's just like, as a Jey Uso fan, it is kind of frustrating. But hey, I know a lot about being a frustrated, fan, because I was a fan of Cody Rhodes for, since he came back to WWE, and that was frustrating as it is, because it's just like, oh my
Yeah.
God, when is he gonna finish the story? When he gonna finish the story? We've been here before, so we already know how the result gonna be. He gonna come out on top. I just know it.
Yeah, and I'm hoping he does. Right now, the only thing I don't like, it just seems like WWE is like has him in this period where he's like just waiting on the rest of the bloodline, the OG bloodline to come back. So I
Yep.
wish there was something for him to do in between, but right now it's definitely a wait and see. Resuming with Monday Night Raw, we had the face-to-face between world champion Damian Priest and his challenger at SummerSlam, the Ring General Gunther. And this was very interesting because one, I was not expecting Damian Priest to get the pop that he got from the crowd. I was
Babyface.
definitely, yeah. He's tweener no more. He's starting to, go to the other side. Pun intended. And and then Gunther came out and said Damian Priest is all about dreams. And Gunther is here to make history. And it's kind of, I don't know what it has been, but when this reign of Damian Priest first started off, I didn't believe in him as a champion. I didn't believe in him as like world championship caliber. But I don't know about you guys, but I'm starting to believe that maybe Damian Priest is world champion material. What are you guys' thoughts on the comments that happened, with this face to face and everything with that?
I know when Damien held the U.S. title before, he held it for like 100 and something days. His reign was like okay. It wasn't good, but it wasn't bad. It was just kind of like decent. So when he cashed in the Money in the Bank and won the heavyweight title, I was like, God, because I thought they were gonna like kick off with him versus Finn like instantly. But I'm glad they're kind of like waiting on it and letting him like set in the background, and that they're letting the Judgment Day like be its own. There's so many stories going on within that group. And Gunther's comments about how he hated that Priest is poor and he shouldn't be a champion. That's basically what he said.
Yeah,
He's like, I don't have privilege. You were on the street, and like maybe you should have stayed on the street. I think this is one of Gunther's like best promos so far because he gives off
yeah.
like the Austrian. I don't know. He
Almost
speaks
like
like,
in entitlement. Almost.
yeah, and like, ain't this the most like so far that he really like played into that, and I think that helps him have more of a character than like his character before. It's like his character like kind of like Charlotte, where he needs to have a title. I feel like if he stays like the entitled character, he doesn't need like the title or that crutch that he'll be fine without it. So to be honest, I don't know. I was confident that Gunther was gonna beat Priest. As of right now, I really don't.
This is my thing. When Paul Triple H Levesque puts his hands on something, he gonna make you believe in it. Trust and believe me. If Damian Priest is not proof of that, hey, that point shoot, I have no idea what program you're watching at that point because I mean, 'cause ever since this is the thing though, when Damian Priest won the world championship, I was like, it was like a big damn, okay. So they went there. But it's the thing though, they wouldn't have had him cash in at WrestleMania and win at WrestleMania if they weren't gonna take him serious. So I think honestly, because it really took at first, like you said, I wasn't believing it, but I think after he beat Jey Uso, I was kind of like, all right, he gonna be champion for a little minute. It's gonna be, it's gonna be a little while before he loses that belt. So honestly, I'm just playing the waiting game with you guys. Just wait and see how this thing plays out. You know what I mean? But so far,
Yeah,
it's playing out pretty well. For Raw, Judgment Day. Like he was saying, Judgment Day got a bunch of storylines going on. So
Oh yeah.
you tuned into all of them. So it's just like, hey, gotta just wait and see for real.
definitely. And if it wasn't, certain that, Priest is on a run right now, he defeated Braun Strowman in one-on-one competition without any help from the Judgment Day.
Clean.
Very
Clean.
emphatic win too. Like he like dominated.
Yeah, which not many people get to do.
Yeah.
And then we had Shayna Baszler and Zoe Stark defeat Katana Chance, Kaden Carter in tag team action. So they were standing tall. After this, we got, one of my favorite segments of the night. Drew McIntyre was called out to the ring, still suspended. And in order to get his match with CM Punk, get his suspension lifted, all he had to do was apologize. Drew thought about it, he contemplated it, but ultimately he said no, which led GM Adam Pearce to say, Drew, you are still suspended, and that match with CM Punk is on hold. During, the course of all this, Drew did name drop Seth Rollins. And when Drew was about to get busy in that ring, put his hands on some more officials, Seth Rollins came out to make the save. We got, him fending Drew off. And I personally, to me, this is not a good sign because I want it to be Drew McIntyre versus CM Punk one-on-one. But now it's looking like after last week, Seth Rollins and CM Punk, and now this week, Drew McIntyre and Seth Rollins. Seth Rollins is now inserting himself in that picture. So we might be setting up for a triple threat match at SummerSlam.
God.
To be
And
honest though, like I'm not really mad at that though because I mean, like without Seth Rollins being in that match, what do you do with Seth Rollins for SummerSlam?
Half of me thinks that they're doing the triple threat in order to like kind of hide CM Punk's weaknesses, kind of.
that's
Because
true.
he's probably rusty. He hasn't been in the ring since what, January? And even before that, he hasn't been in the ring for 2 years. So I think if they do the triple threat, they're doing it in some way to hide Punk.
No, I could
Got a point.
definitely see that. It's just like, for me, the story started off with Rollins and Punk. So it makes sense that he's still in the story. It's just when Rollins took his leave, to heal from his injuries, the story progressed so much more. So it's like, I wouldn't mind, a triple threat match down the line, maybe at Bad Blood, but like for SummerSlam, it would have been cool
Right.
to get. Well, who knows? Maybe we'll get Seth Rollins special guest referee. Just throwing that out there.
I wouldn't hate it.
Might
Got a
have.
point. He hates both of them.
Yeah.
Yeah.
After this, we got another VHS tape played from via the Wyatt Six. This time,
So
Eric,
sad.
yeah, this time Eric Rowan speaks out. He lost both of his brothers, and when all hope was lost, Bo and the rest of the Wyatt Six came to him and they gave him new life. So we're starting to find out his purpose for the Wyatt Six, and we have more on them later. After this, Jey Uso went 1-on-1, you know, in a match against Dominic Mysterio. Dominic Mysterio trying to prove to Mommy that she belongs to him, which that was a bad choice of words because she didn't like that at all.
Not at all.
Somebody who wants to be Dom's was Liv Morgan because she interfered in this match, saved Dom. And then we got the classic Dom straddles Liv, Liv counters on Dom, straddles Dom, and out comes Rhea Ripley. Liv runs for her life. Dominic gets back in the ring and loses, and Jey Uso walks out with the victory on that one. After this, Damian Priest was clowning Dom, but it seems like somehow, some way, Dom potentially won his mommy back, as she told him she doesn't belong to anybody, but Dom belongs to mommy. Yeah.
What do you mean by
So,
that?
Like you
but
said, Ron, the Don planting them seeds.
hey,
I
hey,
like
if
Dom in that match a lot though, because
yeah,
Dom became a lot more like aggressive in that match, and it seemed like there were kind of more shades of him being more than like the whiny like runaway heel. Because he was like, "I told you not to talk about mommy like that." And he's just beating the crap out of Jey Uso. Like Uso didn't even finish his entrance. I like that. I like that they're starting to like plant those seeds there.
definitely. I could give a theory on that because what that could mean, if there is a new Judgment Day, how this Judgment Day seems to have two leaders in Priest and Rhea, it would be Liv and somebody else. Some people say Finn. It could be another guy. You know what I'm saying? I'm just. Hey, I'm not a booker.
Hey, we are not bookers.
After
Dude, we
this,
look. I don't want no heat with CM Punk, so I'm not a booker.
Oh,
After this, Chad Gable grew a set, came down to the ring, and called out Bo Dallas. Bo Dallas made his way out to the ring, and finally, what I've been predicting this whole time came true. Before Bo got to the ring, he was attacked by the Creed brothers, and it seems like we now have a new alliance. Potentially Team Gable. So
yes.
Chad Gable and the Creed brothers. But even though they put a beating on Bo, it didn't really have an effect. He laughed through the pain. Such an honorable guy for doing that. And the rest of his family, his new family, came to his rescue and scared off Team Gable, as we can call him for now. So it's looked like we're setting up potentially for the Wyatt Six versus Chad Gable and the Creed brothers, potentially at SummerSlam. What are your thoughts on this possibly being the outcome? We could start with you, Bryan.
I like that a lot, mainly because I really like the Creed brothers. The Creed brothers, because I watch NXT a lot, and they were really good in NXT. So I'm glad they're being involved with Gable. I kind of feel bad for Gable because he was in the title chase for 4 months, 5 months. He just couldn't get the job done. And I feel like if they go against the Wyatt Six, they're gonna lose because the Wyatt Six can't lose. Like they can't lose their debut match. Or if Team Gable wins, the Wyatt Six maybe get disqualified or something. I don't know. But I'm interested in the Wyatt Six because unlike other like supernatural groups, everyone in that group can actually wrestle really well. Like Joe Gacy, I'm not sure how much y'all know about him, but he's literally like a
He's
younger
legit.
version of Bray Wyatt. Yeah. He hits hard too. Then Dexter, y'all know Dexter. Then Bo sold his ass off in that thing. And that he even did the Luke Harper like, yeah, when he was like against the ropes, and it was hard to watch, and I think that's a good thing.
Well, This just debunks every single theory everybody had about the YS6 going after Jey Uso now. So, yeah, like you said, it's looking like YS6 and Creed brothers and Chad Gable at SummerSlam. So honestly, I'm thinking this is gonna be a really good match if that does happen. But like Bryan was saying, YS6 is not losing their debut match. I don't see it happening, and most likely won't happen. So we already know how that's gonna go. But at the same time, in doing so, they have to probably do it in a way that's not gonna make Team Gable look so weak because they just started. You know what I mean? So, but I'm sure that they'll figure out a way. Like, even if they do get beat, they're probably not gonna come out like as weak as we think they're gonna come out. So you never know.
The world tag titles and the Judgment Day has them now, but what other tag team is in that division besides Awesome Truth? That's really a
Mm,
threat. And you kind of
mm,
need the Creed brothers to kind of be in that conversation. Because the
mm,
tag scene was super strong before the draft, but after the draft, it feels like everyone kind of like just like disappeared.
mm,
And
It's true.
mm.
you need something. Yeah.
I was gonna say a missing factor in all this. You know, we still don't know where Ivy Nile stands, so you know she could be a factor.
Yep.
Um, After this, you know, as Brian said earlier, we got his guy Ilya Dragunov challenging for the Intercontinental Championship against Intercontinental Champion Sami Zayn. And man, it's just something about the combination of Ilya Dragunov, Sami Zayn, and Braun Breaker where a match never ends in a pinfall. Besides Money in the Bank, um, yes, Braun Breaker came out, interfered, caused a disqualification. What was funny to me at the end, as Braun was making his run around the ring, it almost seemed like Sammy kind of, you know, put Ilya Dragunov in the way on purpose. Now, did he or not? I don't know, but it was very interesting to me. And
Extremely.
that was Monday Night Raw. It was a pretty decent show in my eyes. What are you guys' thoughts on Monday Night Raw as a whole?
I wish the crowd popped more for the women's tag matches. Because they aren't
Yeah,
bad matches. It's just the crowd's like, oh, they're women and they're a tag team and it's new, so I really don't care about it. But everyone, like, I love Kane Carter and Katana Chance. I think they're amazing. And even, like I said earlier, with Zoe Stark and Shayna Baszler, they're really good wrestlers. Just the crowd's just not reacting to them at all. The Ilya Sammy Braun thing, I think, could be probably a match of the year candidate. Because Ilya and Braun had a match with a takeover when I think Ilya was champion. And that match was incredible. But the crowd doesn't seem to be getting behind Ilya though. He comes
yeah.
out and it's like eh. It's like a
I
decent
think
It's
pop.
the product.
no, I don't even think it's that. I think that loss like against Jey Uso really hurt him, in my opinion.
Yeah.
That kind of killed his momentum a little bit.
That's what I'm so worried about.
Trust me,
God.
Brian Woods, you ain't gotta worry. Ilya Dragunov ain't going nowhere. His momentum will be just fine. But as far as Raw is concerned, we can't stop talking about Raw without talking about the fact that Braun Breaker hit Sami Zayn with another Cora Jade inspired spear, bruh. And when I tell you that, dude ran around the ring like 3 times, bro. Came at him like a damn bullet, just gone, bruh. So hey, that dude there, I'm telling you, bro. You need look, bro. Cora J probably need to be like hitting him up, like, look, we need to talk. I'm sorry, I apologize. He gonna keep wreaking havoc on Raw, bro.
Yeah, it
And
was definitely a
Braun's
good
whole
episode.
Braun's whole character is that he's pissed off. That's it.
And that
And
made
he's
him
just
even more
hitting people.
pissed.
He's not
That
even
makes
having
him even more
matches. He's
pissed.
just hitting people.
I was gonna say that could have been the reason why he just blue balls, I guess. But we're gonna get into some other highlights of the week. WWE's newest signing, Stephanie Vacure, made her WWE live show debut in Mexico City. Um, She was heavily embraced by the crowd. But it seems like her former employees or potential employers are a little salty about this. That being Tony Khan, he missed out on another big time free agent. Uh, and then you know couple that with the fact that Cody Rhodes came out, in his interview with Chris Van Vliet and was talking about his AEW exit and how like it was terrible, and he felt like he wasn't getting his just due and the credit he deserved. He was getting a lot of unnecessary hate. Things are not really looking up for Tony Khan right now. What are your guys' thoughts on Tony Khan and the state of AEW?
If AEW does not have a good turnout tonight, I think the company's screwed. Because you have Swerve Strickland versus Kazuchika Okada and Will Ospreay versus MJF on the same card. If you can't draw feuds from your four biggest stars in the company, I don't know what you do from that point. And they had Stephanie go against Monet for the Strong versus the TBS, yeah. And she lost the great match, but she lost the match. And then I don't know. I think he's just playing favorites way too much.
You see that?
Oh, I ain't gonna lie, I gotta agree with them with that whole thing about you got four of your biggest superstars on the same card. AEW 250. So, with that being said, this don't go right. It does. It kind of does beg the question: where does AEW go from here? Do the TV companies see it and be like, we don't know if we want to sign another deal, or do they be like, you know what? Let's try to give it the little benefit of the doubt, or maybe they really do have a good turnout and be like, okay, you know what? We got something here. We got something. But yeah, that's just where I stand on that, man. It's just AEW, like I was saying last pod, they in a tough spot right now. It's a matter of what they do from now going forward. So not even just stuff you see on TV, but moves you make backstage, all that. Like you have to set some type of ground. Be like, okay, like not everybody can be top dog. Like we was going over this, in a promo class. Like not everybody can be top dog. You know what I mean? And
Yeah.
like in the company. And I think that's kind of what Tony Khan's doing. Like he's trying to make everybody. That's why do you think you see all these championships on one show? Like everybody has a championship. When everybody has a championship, it kind of, for me, it kind of takes away from it in a sense. But that's just me. I mean, hey.
Yeah, the play devil's advocate here a little bit. The one thing that I like that they're doing, one, I like the MJF heel turn. I feel like that's
I agree.
very important. Yeah. You guys, mentioned they're putting their biggest stars in the spotlight. You got the Mercedes Moné versus Britt Baker program. We've seen them struggle with women programs in the past, but hopefully, they can learn from those mistakes and really capitalize off this, because this is like a big draw type of program. And also, like, being that their contract, is set to end and they're looking for that extension, and hopefully they start, coming out with better TV. Because if not, we're looking at, potentially WCW 2.0, TNA 2.0. So, you never wanted to get.
This is my thing. I don't want that for AEW. I want AEW to thrive, because at the end of the day, we need a secondary. Because like you said, not everybody can go to World Wrestling Entertainment. You know what I mean? Not not everybody can go to, AEW in a sense, or TNA. Like we need, platforms like AEW to thrive. So it gives independent talent another platform to showcase what they can do in that ring in front of a massive audience. Because if we just have just like the WWE being the biggest, like being the only, I'm not gonna say the biggest because they are the biggest, but being the only platform that they can go to, it's gonna be kind of hard for people like myself, like newcomers, to try to get out there. You know what I mean? To kind of be looked at by these people. So
Yeah.
I want them to thrive. Everything I'm saying is I want it to be taken as like constructive. Like it's just like very constructive. So I want them to succeed. That's just me.
For sure.
Tony Khan has all this money. Please, man, hire some writers and hire a booker. That's it. Step away from booking, hire writers and hire a booker.
If you didn't know, Brian, my boy Ron the Don here, he can do that. This guy right here, believe it or not, cat's out the
Please.
bag. Cat's out the bag, but when I first started training, he was helping me write my promos. You know what I mean?
Yeah.
Yeah. Hey, Tony Call, I'm just one call away. I'm in state. I can pull up to Jacksonville. I know they got a lot going on down there, but you know, but if you
Better
need
live in the
me,
suburbs.
right next to the stadium. But
There's just so many good workers out there that he can hire, and he's just not doing it, or he's just not listening. Like, he has complete dictatorship over AEW, and he feels like he's just running it into the ground because he's running it like a fan and not like a businessman. If that makes sense.
Like I was saying before, GM
Mhm.
mode. Tony Khan is playing GM mode with infinite money. I'm telling you, that's what
Oh
it
my
is.
God.
If we being real, he's playing GM mode like how you played on SmackDown vs. Raw, and he's playing it in real life. Like it is what it is.
Speaking of GMO, it was announced today that Call of Duty Season 5, they're bringing WWE superstars Cody Rhodes, Rhea
So
Ripley,
yeah,
and Rey Mysterio to the game. How excited are you guys about that?
I'm gonna be Rhea Ripley running around with my ass cheeks jiggling. I'm a boy. I'm telling
Hey,
you right
we
now,
got to make.
I ain't getting shot. I ain't getting shot. I wonder if they're making Ray like actually short. Like, is he actually gonna be like 5'6" in the game? Is he?
It
He's
is,
pretty short.
I think
I don't
so.
know.
Yeah. I
yeah.
think so.
That's pretty
But
good. Hey, I
man,
might do that then.
I ain't even gonna lie. If these are gonna be free skins, because it said they advertise it as being free. So if
It's
these is
free.
gonna be free skins, I'm tapping in for real, for real. But the only thing is though, I know a lot of people are gonna be playing as them, and I hate to say it, I'm gonna hate playing the game. I'm looking at somebody with a Cody Rhodes skin, and I gotta off them. It's gonna suck. It's
Oh my
going
God.
to suck. It's gonna suck, bro. Or even like
Hey,
the Rhea Ripley skin. I gotta offer. It's just like
yeah.
you a op at that point. It's Call of Duty. But I will say though, them character models, believe it or not,
Look fucking
are
good.
better than 2K. Better than 2K.
Wow.
That's just me. They better than 2K.
Well, speaking of, video games, 2K, we have a segment on the pod. We call it Top 5, and the the topic of Top 5 today is your top 5 WWE video games of all time.
Top 5, no debating. Top 5, top 5, top 5.
So, I don't know who want to go first.
I'm going first.
All right,
I
we'll
gotta get
start
a
with
pen
you,
and paper.
Zane.
Yeah. These top fives, I usually go on first anyway, so let me start this off right now. Alright, at number 5. It's gonna be let me put my honorable mention out there. Honorable mention, SmackDown vs. Raw 2011. You know, that game got some memories. Hell, we got memories playing it when we was in middle school, you know what I mean? So
Yes,
it's
sir.
just that. Number 5, gotta go with WWF No Mercy. I don't really have, experiences like that playing it for real, but like the times I played it, it's been fun. Apparently people still modding it, to this day. So,
To this day.
that's good to see. Number 4, I gotta say, this gonna come as a surprise. WWE 2K24. I've actually been having a lot of fun with it. I've been having a lot of fun on the game. You know what I mean? I've been creating a lot of wrestlers and all that stuff like
I
that. If
bet you
y'all wanna,
have.
Yeah.
if y'all wanna download them, look up Sir Tony in your gamer tag, and you're gonna see them all. You can download everybody that I created on there. But I've been having some fun on that game though. I see the newer WWE games right now. I don't really have to go online to have fun. That's how it's always been for me playing wrestling. I never have to go online to have fun. Only time I go
Yeah.
online is to play you, but I'll be beating you. You know what I mean? But that's another topic for another day. You know what I mean?
Tell the truth. Tell the truth. Tell the
Alright,
truth.
at my number 3. I got SmackDown vs. Raw 2006. I will say, this game I got a lot of memories with. Because me and my brother used to play GM mode on it all the time. That was the game. And then the little Buried Alive, they brought back Buried Alive match. The season mode, the who ran over Teddy Long storyline.
Mm-hmm.
Oh my god, I know what you're
Goated,
talking
bro.
about. I
Goated.
forgot that was in that
Goated.
game.
Goated. And my number 2. This gonna come as a surprise. Here comes the pain. Here comes the pain at number 2. It's at number 2 because because this number 1, I just have more memories of playing. But here comes the pain, not
What's
taking.
going on?
But number 2 and number 1 can actually be like changeable. But here comes
I
the
already
pain.
know
I
number
just have,
one.
Let me finish. Alright. Like I said, here comes the pain. I just, it was decent. It's a really, really good game. I still play it. Hell, I was playing it last night actually on my emulator. I was playing it last night. So hey, it's a good game. Decent, good story mode, good creative suite. It's what can you ask for in a video game? At my number 1 spot, SmackDown versus Raw 2007, bruh. Dog, this game right here, it's undefeated. It's undefeated. I can't, literally, I can't stop playing it. I still play it. I still have the physical copy for the Xbox 360 to this day. Same with Here Comes the Pain and Shut Your Mouth and all that. But that game, I play the most. And I'm telling you right now, the Xbox 360 version, perfect. Graphics, perfect. Just everything about that game was just perfect in my opinion. Except the stamina systems. That's the one thing I could not stand about
Okay.
06 and 07. The stamina systems piss me off. To this day, I can't do stamina systems. It's a video game. Why we have stamina, bro?
What?
I'm done.
Oh gosh. I'm a young buck, so my list ain't gonna be that long at all.
It's 5.
I was able to get 5. I don't know how, but it's 5 on this paper.
Alright, bet.
Okay.
Let's hear it.
Number 5, we got SVR 2009. Only because of the Teddy Long storyline. I thought, because I played that, I was like 6. And I remember me being 6-year-old and just like dying. Because the way he got hit by the car and just like rolled, it was number 4.
6.
Is it on 6?
That's 06.
Yeah,
09 was the Road to WrestleMania.
Road to
But I think Teddy
WrestleMania.
Long was in the storyline on Road to WrestleMania, I think he was still on there, but he didn't play a big part though.
He was in that Undertaker storyline.
Yeah.
Let's just do 06 then.
Alright.
I changed it 06.
There you go. Alright.
Number 4, I want to do, this is mainly for memories, is 2K13. Because that was the first one that I really played, and that was the first one that really introduced me to all like the Attitude Era people. Because at this point, it's 2013. I'm like 9 or like 8. So at this point, I don't know anything, and just me playing that game was like one of the main reasons I fell in love with wrestling at that time.
That was solid.
Yeah. Number 3 up Here Comes the Pain. Number 2, we have 2K19. Right before they messed it up with 20. 20 was terrible. 19 was amazing.
Servers up for 19 because 20 was so terrible. I remember still playing it when 2K20 was out. I deleted that game with it instant, bro.
Number 1, I have.
That was
list, bro. I can't even lie.
That was a good one.
I remember I bought 15 and my copy of 14 was scratched up and I couldn't play it. I returned 15 to GameStop to buy another copy of 14.
Not a bad choice.
Man, I don't know. I played that game so much. I probably got over 200 hours in that game.
14.
Now I'm hyped to hear Ron the Don's list, because if this guy, when I tell you this dude probably has every SmackDown game from PS1, bro. He has every SmackDown game from.
I'm glad you said that, because I got 2 honorable mentions. The first was SmackDown 2 from PS1. I love that game. And my second honorable mention is WWE 12. I love the Jacob Cass storyline, and like that was like that was like the best road to WrestleMania. I think it was still called Road to WrestleMania,
Yeah,
but it was
that was the last year.
that was the best one. Number 5, gotta go with Day of Reckoning. That was solid. If you had GameCube and you had the 4 controllers, Day of Reckoning was solid.
I might have to go
Number
back and play that.
Nah, it's nice. Number 4, gotta go with No Mercy. That's a classic. Should be higher, but you know, my top 3 is undefeated. Number 3, now see, I'm disappointed in you, Xander. I thought you was gonna say this. SmackDown, Shut Your Mouth. The most
I completely forgot
underrated,
about that game.
the most underrated wrestling game of all time.
You right.
Number two, number
I'm disappointed in
two,
myself.
SmackDown, Here Comes the Pain. And then number 1, I'm gonna have to agree with you. SmackDown versus Raw, 2007. That's the greatest game, the greatest soundtrack, just the greatest roster. I think that was the first year. Was it the first year of Money in the Bank or the second year? Yeah,
First year.
first year of Money in the Bank. Like, yeah, that was a GOAT game for me. But that has been top 5, ladies and gentlemen, top 5 WWE video games of all time. Before we get on out of here, you know, I just want to say, Bryan, it was a pleasure to have you on the show, man. Hopefully this ain't the last time. I enjoyed it. Anything you want to say to the people before we head on out of here?
Wildcat Sports is having a show July 27th in where's it at, Allin? I forgot.
Southport Hall, bro. How do you not know
Yeah,
the
yeah,
spot?
yeah.
You know what? You know what?
I
Let
was
me.
gonna say
You know
it,
what?
yeah.
Let me handle this part. All right, y'all can go check out Wildcat Sports X-Rated at Southport Hall, July 27th. Bell time at 7:00. And if you don't know where to get your tickets, you ain't got. I got you with that, because you can catch them tickets at wildcat.eventbrite.com. And that message is courtesy of Mr. All-in-One from the 631. Allin, Xander, and Bryan Woods.
And ladies and
Thank
gentlemen,
you.
with that, I'm your host, Ron the Don. We'll see you next week. We out.
Peace.
Trip forever and I'm just not getting started. That's the one. Yeah.